Okay, let's unpack this. We use language every single day, right? It's the most powerful toolkit we have for communicating, for connecting, for just getting things done.
Absolutely. It shapes everything.
But have you ever stopped to really think about the incredible hidden power, the almost surgical precision that's packed into what seem like really simple, everyday phrases?
It's easy to overlook.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's genuinely mind-boggling when you start to dig into it. Even the smallest linguistic choices, those tiny shifts in how we word things, they can completely redefine clarity or adjust expectations.
And fundamentally alter understanding.
Exactly. It's like a finely tuned instrument. Every little knob and dial has a specific, significant purpose.
A very precise function.
So our mission for this deep dive, we want to go way beyond just the surface level understanding of some common English phrases. We're going to meticulously peel back the layers, reveal their fascinating nuances, their profound practical applications in the real world.
And crucially, the why. Why are they constructed that way?
Exactly, the why. This isn't just about defining words. It's about grasping the profound, almost architectural impact these phrases have on our communication.
Right.
Helping you, our listener, gain knowledge quickly and thoroughly without ever feeling overwhelmed by, information overload.
Think of it as a shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut to being genuinely well-informed about how precision in language truly works and why it matters so much.
And what's fascinating here is that today, our sources, well, they aren't articles or research papers, not in the usual sense.
Okay, what are they then?
They're the living, breathing language itself. We're diving directly into the fabric of our everyday speech.
Ah, interesting. So the phrases are the sources.
Precisely. Our sources are a collection of widely used English phrases that you probably encounter every single day, maybe without fully appreciating their intricate design.
Like which ones?
We're going to explore 4 specific ones today. On the right track. Then, almost all after that for the next 4 days, and finally, at 3 o'clock sharp.
Okay, I use all of those.
Right? They aren't just expressions, they're sophisticated instruments of communication. Each one carries layers of meaning, implications.
Yeah, okay.
And once you understand them, it can dramatically sharpen your own linguistic toolkit and, honestly, improve every interaction you have.
All right, I'm ready. Let's start unpacking. Where do we begin?
Unpacking on the right track. So let's kick things off with one many of us probably use without a second thought, maybe even on autopilot. On the right track.
Very common.
Take a moment and consider it. Where do you typically hear this? How does it show up in your daily life or maybe at work?
Yeah, it pops up everywhere.
At its core, on the right track signifies progress, doesn't it?
Definitely. Moving forward.
It suggests you're moving in a correct direction, following a pathway that is, leading towards some desired outcome.
Right, there a goal in mind.
But what's really crucial here, and I think often overlooked, is that it implies an ongoing process rather than a final finished state.
That's the key nuance. It's about the journey. Yeah, it's fundamentally about the journey, not just the destination. So, for example, if your manager said, your initial research for the project is incredibly detailed, you're definitely on the right track for a top-tier presentation, what does that really communicate? Beyond just, good job.
Well, what's fascinating about On the Right Track is its incredibly subtle yet powerful psychological implication.
Right.
It's not a declaration of perfection or completion, not at all. Rather, it's a statement of validation, encouragement, focused squarely on the direction and the methodology being sound.
Ah, so the how and where.
Exactly. Even if the ultimate destination hasn't yet been reached. This phrase actually taps directly into what psychologists call the progress principle.
The progress principle. Tell me more.
Well, when individuals recognize they're on the right track, even if they're still far from the finish line, their intrinsic motivation, it just shoots up significantly.
Ah, okay. So it fuels you.
It really does. It fosters resilience, encourages persistence, builds a willingness to tackle challenges. It can transform potential frustration into renewed effort.
That makes sense.
And it effectively manages expectations.
Yeah.
Right. It assures that current efforts are well placed, likely to lead to success, but it doesn't promise immediate absolute results.
Right. No guarantees, but you're heading the right way.
Precisely. And for you, our listener, understanding this nuance helps you not only give truly effective, motivating feedback, but also assess your own progress with a more encouraging, growth-oriented lens. It shifts the focus from just, an immediate pass-fail judgment,
Which can be scary.
totally, to a dynamic process of continuous improvement and strategic adaptation.
That's a great point about the progress principle. It's not just descriptive, it's genuinely empowering. It validates the effort, the thought process.
Exactly.
But it makes me wonder, could there be a scenario where saying on the right track might be too encouraging? Maybe when someone is actually quite far off. And maybe we should be more direct, say something's incorrect or needs a major pivot.
That's a sharp and really important question, because context is always king, isn't it?
For sure.
While on the right track is a powerful positive reinforcer, there are definitely times when more direct corrective feedback is necessary, especially if the fundamental premise or approach is just flawed.
Right. I don't want to mislead someone.
Exactly. Using on the right track when a person is genuinely lost might create a false sense of security, delaying that necessary course correction. It's always about balancing encouragement with accuracy.
Okay. So how do you handle that?
Well, even in those situations, the power of on the right track can be used strategically. You might say something like, look, your dedication to solving this problem is definitely on the right track.
Acknowledge the effort first.
Right. But we need to reevaluate the initial assumptions before we go any further down this particular path. See? It acknowledges their effort while gently guiding them toward a needed adjustment.
I see. So you validate one part while redirecting another.
Precisely. It functions as a kind of speech act. It's not just describing, it's performing an act of validation, provided its underlying truthfulness and appropriateness are met.
Felicity conditions, right.
Exactly. It implies, I see your effort, and this aspect of what you're doing is correct and will serve you well, even if the overall solution isn't there yet.
I appreciate that distinction, acknowledging effort while redirecting strategy. Let's think about specific scenarios where this really shines. Let's use our imaginary project manager, Sarah. She's navigating a new international team.
Okay.
She might say, team, your initial design concepts for the new app are absolutely on the right track for meeting the client's vision.
Perfect. That immediately tells everyone that while the design isn't final, the fundamental approach is aligned. It validates their work.
And encourages them to refine in that specific direction.
Exactly. Or consider problem solving. If one of Sarah's junior developers is troubleshooting a complex coding issue, she might review their diagnostic steps and say, after reviewing your steps, I think you're definitely on the right track to identify the software bug.
Validating the process, not just the outcome.
Right. It validates their logical process, even if they haven't pinpointed the exact bug yet. Builds confidence, reinforces good habits.
And in learning and development, like with a student.
Oh, invaluable feedback. A mentor telling a student, your understanding of the core principles of quantum physics is solid. You're on the right track to master this subject. That's far more motivating, provides a clearer trajectory than just saying good.
It maps out the path.
It outlines a path to mastery. Yeah.
And it's not just for work or school, right? Even in personal decisions.
Absolutely. Offers profound validation.
So someone like Sarah, if she were navigating a big life change, moving to a new country perhaps,
Big step.
a friend might say, moving can be daunting, but it really feels like you're on the right track towards personal growth and finding your niche.
And that's incredibly reassuring, isn't it? It acknowledges the difficulty while affirming the positive trajectory.
It really is. But this brings up a good question. How does on the right track truly differ from simply saying something is, say, correct or just good? They feel similar.
But they're not quite the same.
No. What's the key difference?
This is a crucial distinction. Really highlights the phrase's unique power. Correct is often binary. Right?
Yeah. Yes or no.
Something is either correct or it's not. It implies finality. If a calculation is correct, it's done, finished.
Okay.
On the right track, however, suggests a trajectory. It's about alignment with a path rather than absolute accuracy at a single fixed point in time.
Direction versus destination again.
Exactly. It's less about the current state, more about the future direction. And similarly, good is just a general positive descriptor. This is good work. Fine. But on the right track specifies why it's good. Because it's leading somewhere positive, it's making appropriate progress toward a goal, it's more directional, more process-oriented than a simple qualitative judgment.
It shows you understand the journey.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Not just the current milestone.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, what lasting impact does using a phrase like this have? On team dynamics, maybe? or a student's confidence, it really feels like it fosters a growth mindset
Oh, absolutely.
and maybe mitigates that fear of failure.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this phrase is instrumental, genuinely instrumental, in establishing a shared understanding of progress and direction.
Which is crucial for teamwork.
Absolutely crucial for any collaborative effort. When a leader, like Sarah, or an educator, uses "on the right track," they're signaling trust. Trust in the process, trust in the individual's judgment.
Okay.
It explicitly encourages continued effort, significantly reduces the fear of making mistakes.
Because it acknowledges the path isn't perfect.
Exactly. It acknowledges that the path to success isn't always linear or perfect. And it builds genuine confidence. It effectively transforms potential frustration into motivation.
Allows people to adapt.
Right. Adapt and refine their approach rather than getting stuck in analysis paralysis or fear of imperfection. It shifts the focus from immediate, often daunting perfection
Which is paralyzing.
to sustained, well-directed effort, which is a far more productive mindset for learning, innovation, development,
Right.
really in any field. This one phrase can literally shape cultures of learning and performance.
Wow. That's a lot packed into just 4 words. 2. Deconstructing almost all.
Okay, that discussion about trajectory and progress with "on the right track,"
Mm.
it naturally leads me to thinking about how we quantify things, because it's often not 100%, is it?
Rarely is. Yeah.
Which brings us beautifully to another seemingly simple phrase that carries, I think, a surprising amount of intellectual weight. Almost all.
Yes. The quantifier.
This one immediately jumps out as crucial for quantification, doesn't it? It's about numbers, how much, how many.
When we say almost all, we're indicating a very high percentage, right? A significant majority. But, and this is the critical, powerful subtlety, it explicitly, gracefully leaves room for exceptions.
That little gap, that's key.
It's a statement of near universality. Take this example. Almost all of the survey respondents preferred the new product design. What does that tell you beyond just a lot of people liked it, and why is that almost so important?
Okay, the power of almost in almost all. It's truly intellectually critical.
Really? Critical.
Yes, it's a sophisticated linguistic tool for making very strong general statements without claiming absolute 100% truth.
Okay, so it keeps you honest.
Exactly. This is how we maintain accuracy, intellectual honesty, even scientific rigor, especially when dealing with statistics, broad observations, or just complex realities.
Makes sense.
By including almost, we are practicing intellectual humility. We're implicitly acknowledging the inherent, falsifiability of universal claims.
A science thing, right?
A cornerstone of the scientific method itself. Perfect uniformity is rare, if not impossible, in most real-world scenarios. Exceptions, however minor, usually exist.
Always an outlier somewhere.
Right. And almost prevents overgeneralization. It actively guards against the hasty generalization fallacy, a really common logical trap.
Okay.
It allows for much more nuanced and accurate reporting by implicitly forcing us to consider those outliers, which, incidentally, often hold the keys to new discoveries or critical product improvements.
So the exceptions are important too.
Very. And for you, our listener, this becomes incredibly important when you're reading news, analyzing data, forming arguments. It teaches precision. It encourages critical thinking about data, helps you avoid those logical fallacies that stem from oversimplified absolute statements. It pushes you to look for the exceptions, the edge cases, understand the limits of any generalization.
Makes you a sharper thinker.
A much more discerning consumer of information, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a fantastic way to put it. Intellectual humility. It's like saying, okay, I'm making a very strong claim here, but I'm also smart enough to know there might be a few outliers, and I respect that complexity.
Precisely.
I wonder, though, does this also come into play when people, maybe public figures or marketers, intentionally drop the almost to make a stronger, perhaps misleading claim?
Oh, you've hit on a crucial point about the ethical and rhetorical use of language. Absolutely.
So it happens.
All the time. The intentional omission of almost can indeed be a strategic maneuver to bolster a claim beyond its factual basis.
Like how?
Well, a politician might say all citizens support this policy, when maybe internal polling shows almost all do, but there's a vocal, say, 10–15% who strongly oppose it.
Okay. That changes the picture.
Completely. That single word omission transforms the statement from an honest assessment into an oversimplified, potentially misleading, and ultimately less credible declaration.
And in marketing.
Similarly, saying all customers prefer our brand might face legal challenges if even a tiny fraction preferred a competitor, whereas almost all customers prefer our brand allows for a strong claim while remaining truthful.
That's a fine line.
It illustrates almost all as a scalar quantifier, right? It occupies a specific high percentage point on a scale, distinct from an absolute quantifier like all. Understanding this distinction is vital for probabilistic reasoning, interpreting claims in media, advertising, public discourse.
Fascinating. So the subtle presence or absence of almost, it carries a heavy burden of responsibility for the speaker and a need for critical listening for the audience.
Okay.
Let's put this into practice, some scenarios. Statistical reporting, for instance,
Yeah,
you
you-
might hear. Almost all students scored above 80% on the final exam.
Right, clear communication.
It clearly communicates the vast majority did well,
Yeah.
but also subtly implies that a small number, maybe one or two, did not. It's not 100%, and that almost makes it more honest, more defensible.
Precisely. Or in general observations, particularly in a dynamic environment like Sarah's new international city.
Yeah.
You could say, almost all cars on the highway were heading north this morning towards the tech district.
Okay. Paints a picture.
Tells us the predominant flow, paints that vivid picture, while acknowledging a few might have been going south or parked or whatever. It's an accurate snapshot without claiming an absolute, which will likely be false.
And in consumer preferences, it must be vital there.
Absolutely vital. Almost all customers reported satisfaction with the new service. That's a strong positive, signals success. But it also acknowledges there might be a handful who weren't satisfied, maybe with minor issues that warrant investigation, sets realistic expectations for stakeholders, for the customer service team, knowing there might be outliers to address.
Okay. And even in science.
Even in rigorous scientific findings where precision is paramount, almost all is crucial. A paper might state, almost all observed galaxies contain dark matter,
Why not just all?
because it allows for the possibility of theoretical exceptions or anomalies yet to be discovered. It maintains scientific rigor, the ongoing nature of discovery, while communicating a very strong current understanding.
Okay, that makes sense. So how would you say almost all truly differs from other quantifiers? Like most, many, nearly all, or just all? They're all kind of in the same neighborhood.
They are neighbors, yes, but with distinct properties.
What are the key distinctions? All, obviously, is 100%. No exceptions. Totally definitive.
Universal truth within its scope.
Right. So almost all clearly isn't that. Most. That feels like just over 50%, a simple majority. It could be 51%, could be 95%. It's pretty broad.
Quite a range, yeah.
Many seems even less precise, just implies a large number, no specific proportion.
Very vague, relatively speaking.
But what about nearly all? That one feels very, very close to almost all. Is there any real functional difference there?
Good question. You've hit on the subtle distinctions perfectly. All is absolute. Almost all typically suggests a very high percentage, usually 99%. It's a step away from absolute universality, but a tiny step in magnitude.
Okay, and nearly all.
Nearly all is often used interchangeably with almost all. Sometimes, depending on context or maybe speaker intent, it might imply an even narrower margin to 100%, suggesting the exceptions are seen as even more trivial.
So almost negligible difference sometimes.
In casual speech, the distinction can be negligible, yes. But both are powerful signals of that final, minute gap from totality. Most, as you said, simple majority, over 50% much broader, less precise than almost all, and many, the least precise.
So almost all implies near universality much more strongly than most.
Significantly stronger, yes. Higher proportion.
So given these subtle but powerful differences, what happens if almost all is misunderstood? If people hear it as all? What are the pitfalls? Could it create a false sense of security?
Oh, this raises an important question about how we interpret data and communicate findings responsibly. And yes, it absolutely can create a false sense of security.
How so?
If almost all is mistakenly interpreted as all, the potential for misrepresentation is huge. The consequences can be significant.
For example?
Well, if a company says almost all customers are satisfied, but that's heard as all, then the specific, maybe critical feedback from the unsatisfied minority, that 5% who had a terrible experience, might get completely overlooked.
Right. Dismissed.
Exactly. Which could lead to bad business decisions, missed opportunities for improvement, maybe even a decline in overall satisfaction down the line.
Ouch.
Or in medicine. If a drug is almost all effective, mistaking that for all effective could lead patients to disregard rare but serious side effects.
That's dangerous.
Very. In science, mistaking almost all for all could lead to faulty conclusions, ignoring anomalies that might hold the key to new discoveries. It just underscores how critical it is to pay attention to these subtle linguistic cues
For accuracy.
for accurate understanding and responsible communication. The subtle difference here, it can indeed lead to vastly different interpretations and actions with real impacts. 3. Specifying duration with for the next 4 days.
Okay, we've explored progress with on the right track and precision and quantity with almost all. Now let's switch gears a bit to time, a phrase that's all about clarity and exactness in defining time for the next 4 days.
Temporal framing, yes.
This one feels so straightforward, doesn't it? In defining a specific future time frame, it clearly indicates a continuous period for 24-hour cycles.
Continuous block.
And crucially, it begins from the very moment the statement is made.
Right, that's the anchor, yes.
So if I say to Sarah, our project manager, the conference will run for the next 4 days, starting this morning, there's absolutely no confusion about when it starts or how long it lasts.
Wonderfully unambiguous.
It really is.
And the significance of next in this phrase,
Why
well, it cannot be overstated.
is next so important?
Next firmly grounds the duration in the present moment, creates that absolutely clear, unambiguous start time. Without next, if you just said for 4 days,
It's vague.
huge ambiguity.
All right.
Does it mean the coming Monday? Any 4-day period in the future? A period yet to be defined
CP anything.
for the next 4 days removes all that doubt. It makes it an immediate ticking clock. This phrasing is incredibly helpful in planning, scheduling, setting expectations.
Because it gives that precise window.
A precise temporal window, exactly. For you, our listener, understanding the power of the next directly impacts how you interpret travel plans, project deadlines, even just anticipating the weather forecast.
Dictates immediate actions.
And expectations. Makes coordination far simpler, more effective.
So it's not just the duration, but the immediacy and the specificity of that duration starting now.
That's the core function.
I remember planning a trip once, and my friend said, "Oh, I'll be available for 5 days in July."
Not helpful.
Not at all. I had no idea when in July, made planning impossible. But if they had said, "I'll be available for the next 5 days starting tomorrow," totally different story.
Anchors your planning immediately.
Instantly. Let's look at some more examples. Forecasting. A meteorologist might announce, expect heavy rain for the next 4 days across the region.
Okay. Clear warning.
Tells us the rain isn't coming vaguely or on and off. It starts now, continues without break for that defined period.
Exactly. Or scheduling, which we all deal with constantly. If Sarah says, I'll be out of the office for the next 4 days, returning on Monday,
Crystal clear.
provides crystal clear info about her absence, precise return date, allows her international team to plan workflow accordingly. No guesswork.
And project phases.
A manager might say, we need to focus exclusively on development for the next 4 days to hit our critical milestone.
Defines an intense sprint.
An intense, limited period of concentrated effort. Sets a clear, immediate sprint with an unambiguous start and end.
And for temporary conditions, like road closures.
Invaluable for public communication. The road closure will be in effect for the next 4 days while urgent repairs are underway.
Communicates duration and temporary nature.
Right. Helps commuters, residents, plan routes, manage expectations, minimizes frustration.
Okay. But what if we swap it out? Just say for 4 days instead of for the next 4 days. What changes?
Big change in specificity.
Well, what if the number changes for the next 4 weeks or months?
Okay, so if you just say for 4 days, it becomes much less specific, like your travel anecdote showed.
Right. Could be any time.
Could refer to any 4-day period, past or future, unless the context clarifies it, like I was away for 4 days last week, or the event lasts for 4 days next month.
Right.
The next removes all that guesswork entirely. Now, with the number or unit changes for the next 4 weeks or month, the principle stays exactly the same.
Just scales up.
The duration scales up, but that starting now implication is retained. Provides the same immediate clarity over a longer horizon. The clarity from next is paramount for immediate, unambiguous planning and coordination.
Especially when things are time sensitive.
Absolutely. It's a compact yet powerful way to convey a precise temporal commitment.
And this precision, It must be
Yeah.
particularly important in international communication, right, where cultures might have really different concepts of time.
Oh, hugely important.
Sarah, with her international team, would certainly benefit from this level of clarity.
Well, this raises an important question about how precise temporal language is fundamental for coordinating global teams and avoiding costly misunderstandings.
Because time perception varies.
Dramatically. Cultural contexts around time vary dramatically. In, say, monochronic cultures like Germany or Switzerland, time is typically seen as linear, segmented. Punctuality is highly valued. In polychronic cultures common in parts of Latin America, the Middle East time is more fluid. Multiple activities might happen simultaneously, less rigid adherence to schedules.
So soon could mean different things.
Exactly. In some cultures, I'll be there soon, might mean 5 minutes or an hour or even just later today, but for the next 4 days.
No room for doubt there.
Leaves absolutely no room for doubt about the duration and its immediate start. It promotes clarity, significantly reduces the risk of misinterpretation in diverse cultural settings.
Essential for global business.
Essential for global business, diplomacy, even just planning a trip with international friends. This phrase ensures everyone, regardless of cultural background, is working from the same precise timeline, the same understanding of duration.
Bridges those cultural gaps in time perception.
Exactly. Avoids confusion and potential missteps. 4. Demanding punctuality with at 3 o'clock sharp.
Okay, building on that theme of temporal precision, let's dive into our final phrase. This one really dials up the demand for exactness. At 3 o'clock sharp.
Ah, the intensifier, yes.
The sharp here is absolutely key, isn't it? It's not just stating a time, it feels like a demand.
It is an unequivocal demand for punctuality.
At 3 o'clock sharp means exactly at that time. No delay, no leeway whatsoever.
To the minute. Zero tolerance.
It conveys that unequivocal expectation of strict punctuality. So think about hearing, the crucial board presentation begins at 3 o'clock sharp. Please be seated by then. What does that signal immediately? About the event, the organizer?
Well, that sharp is a fascinating linguistic intensifier.
Intensifier.
It's not merely restating the time. It's elevating its importance. Communicating the punctuality is absolutely paramount. It functions as what linguists call a pragmatic intensifier.
Yeah.
Amplifies the force of the time statement.
Okay. So it adds weight.
A lot of weight. It
Okay.
signals that arriving early is good, arriving precisely on time is expected, and arriving late is, frankly, unacceptable. Potentially has consequences.
Right. Don't be late.
This single word implies readiness, efficiency, profound respect for others' time. It also implicitly manages expectations, can even suggest consequences for tardiness in professional or formal settings.
That's a high bar.
A very high bar for precision and commitment. Signals this is not an event where casual adherence to time is tolerated. And for you, listener, considering how this phrase influences your perception,
Yeah.
it's enlightening. What does it signal about the organizer's professionalism, the urgency, the overall importance? It's a powerful, nonverbal cue that shapes the dynamic, sets a tone.
It definitely raises the stakes. You know, if someone says 3 o'clock sharp, they mean business. You better not be scrolling in late.
Precisely.
But I'm curious, does sharp ever feel like overkill? Is there a point where someone uses it so much it loses impact? Or maybe starts to sound a bit demanding?
Counterproductive, perhaps.
Yeah, in a way that might be counterproductive. Like if every meeting was sharp, would it lose its special meaning?
That's a really thoughtful observation. Highlights the art of communication, doesn't it?
I guess so.
And yes, overuse can dilute its power. If every single appointment is at 3 o'clock sharp, it loses its specific emphasis. Could even come across as overly rigid, maybe dictatorial.
Especially in some cultures.
Especially in certain cultural contexts or team environments that value flexibility. Sharp is most effective when reserved for genuinely critical moments,
When it really matters.
where absolute punctuality is non-negotiable and has a clear rationale: a board meeting, a flight departure, a live broadcast. Its power comes from its contrast with more relaxed time indicators.
Okay.
If Sarah uses sharp for a critical client demo, but just at 10 a.m. for a casual team brainstorm, her team understands the difference in urgency and expectation.
Judicious use is key.
Its judicious use communicates cultural capital, an appreciation for high-performing environments where efficiency is genuinely valued.
That makes perfect sense. Its impact relies on its scarcity, used for truly important moments. Let's think about some strong applications for at 3 o'clock sharp. Formal meetings, for example.
Okay.
You might hear, the board meeting will commence at 3 o'clock sharp. Latecomers will miss critical updates and discussion points.
Clear warning shot, isn't it? Frames punctuality as essential for effective participation.
Absolutely. And for public events, like
Yep.
a concert.
Organizers often announce, the concert doors close, and the show starts at 3 o'clock sharp, designed to get people seated well in advance.
Ensures a smooth start.
Smooth, timely start that respects performers and the audience. With appointments, especially medical or high-value business ones, precision is crucial.
Like the dentist.
Your dental appointment is at 3 o'clock sharp. Please arrive a few minutes prior to check in. Clarifies the arrival expectation, ensures the schedule runs efficiently, respects everyone's time.
And for critical deadlines, there's no ambiguity there.
None whatsoever.
Oh.
The final submission window for the grant application closes at 3 o'clock sharp. No extensions will be granted under any circumstances.
It's definitive.
Crystal clear. No wiggle room.
Good.
Emphasizes the absolute finality, the importance of adherence.
Okay, so how does at 3 o'clock sharp really differ from just at 3 o'clock? Or even looser, around 3? We talked about a spectrum of precision. This feels like the very end of it.
You're exactly right. It's the apex of that spectrum. At 3 o'clock is the baseline, the stated time, implying you should be there around 3. Maybe a few minutes before or after is acceptable in many casual contexts. There's often a built-in, unstated grace period implicitly understood.
Okay, and around 3.
Most flexible. Suggest a fluid window, maybe 2.45 to 3.15. Allows significant leeway, accommodates unforeseen circumstances.
Got it. But sharp?
At 3 o'clock, sharp eliminates all flexibility, demands exactness to the minute. It's not just a request, it's an imperative.
A command, almost.
It indicates that the precise minute, 3.00, is when things will begin. Any deviation is noted, potentially impactful. It's about being fully ready, present at that exact moment.
Zero tolerance policy for tardiness.
For that specific event, yes.
And this concept of sharp punctuality, I imagine it varies significantly across cultures and professional environments, too. Adds another layer of complexity for Sarah and her international team.
This raises an important question about the unwritten rules of time and how precise language helps navigate them effectively in a globalized world.
Because the expectation differs.
Indeed. The interpretation and expectation of sharp punctuality can differ dramatically. In some high context, monochronic cultures, a meeting called for 3 o'clock might implicitly mean 3 o'clock sharp.
Punctuality is just assumed.
Strict punctuality is assumed. Lateness is a significant offense. In others, particularly more polychronic or relationship-oriented cultures,
More flexible.
a few minutes grace period might be entirely acceptable for 3 o'clock. Relationship building might implicitly take precedence over rigid scheduling.
So in those cases.
In such cases, explicitly adding sharp becomes absolutely necessary. To convey the intended urgency, the lack of flexibility, avoids misunderstandings.
Which could be serious.
Could range from minor inconveniences to significant professional or social gaffes, even perceived disrespect. It's a key tool for setting clear, explicit expectations when cultural norms around time might otherwise lead to profound confusion.
Ensures global coordination without a hitch.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean, really? We've gone through these 4, seemingly simple phrases on the right track, almost all, for the next 4 days, and at 3 o'clock sharp.
Everyday language.
Everyday language. And what we found is that each one carries this wealth of specific meaning, profound implications, even subtle psychological and cultural stuff packed in there.
Absolutely. Layers upon layers.
It truly means that paying close, deliberate attention to these linguistic details, it's not just some academic exercise, is it?
Not at all. It's practical.
It makes you a more confident, articulate, and profoundly effective communicator in every aspect of your life, work, personal relationships, everything.
Absolutely. This deep dive into these foundational elements, it equips you, the listener, with the ability not just to understand others better,
To read between the lines.
anticipate their intentions, their nuances, but also to express yourself with far greater precision and impact. Is careful attention to language. It's a key skill for gaining knowledge quickly, thoroughly, ensuring you avoid common misunderstandings. You don't feel overwhelmed by information because you grasp the subtle power dynamics at play.
Transforms communication.
It transforms everyday communication from just exchanging words into a powerful, finely tuned tool for clarity, connection, and influence.
So, a final thought for everyone listening. As you go about your day, maybe listening to conversations, reading articles, even just thinking through your own thoughts,
Pay attention.
consider how many other seemingly simple phrases hold a world of hidden meaning that we often just overlook. Think about the impact that subtle precision, or maybe the lack of it, has on our daily
Lunch
lives,
jobs.
our crucial professional interactions, even our most important personal relationships. What seemingly minor linguistic choices are you making or interpreting that could have a major, often unseen impact?
Makes you think.
What other everyday words are secretly doing heavy lifting, just waiting for their own deep dive?